Welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are pleased to have you. Our story happened on the 24th of May 2008. It began with a crying soldier who was spotted by the airport staff. Then out of nowhere, they heard someone yell, "Don't let him aboard the flight!" It was supposed to be another ordinary day for the airport workers at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. The airport staff noticed a soldier in his combat uniform just staring absently on his phone. They approached him to ask him if something was wrong. They learned that he needed to get on board because his flight was about to take off. The staff discovered the reason why SBC Brooks Lindsay was crying. Brooks Lindsay's dream as a child was to become a U.S. Army soldier. Brooks met his wife Haley Wilson back in 2015 at their hometown in Jackson, Mississippi. They became a married couple in November 2017. Shortly after their marriage, Haley got pregnant with their first baby. In one of Haley's ultrasounds, the doctor informed them that they are going to have a baby girl. As much as Brooks wanted to stay home and be there for his wife, his duty in the Army called. Brooks was part of the 2nd Battalion 114 Field Artillery Regiment. He was called right away to Fort Bliss, Texas for his training. He would then be deployed to Kuwait for 9 months. Before he left, the two of them had already decided to name their daughter Millie. Things were going well with Haley's pregnancy other than a little high blood pressure. It was hard for soldiers to return home immediately. It was a must to have the Red Cross approve a soldier's leave. One day, Haley went to her doctor's appointment to have her checkup. Her doctor found out that Haley's blood pressure had gone up. The doctor informed her that her child might be in danger. Haley called Brooks right away and explained everything to him. Her doctor informed her that she had preeclampsia and that the baby might be in danger. The doctor decided to induce Haley into labor immediately. Brooks became qualified to apply for the emergency leave and witness the birth of their first child. But first, the Red Cross needs to evaluate the case. Haley immediately provided medical proof to the Red Cross, and once the organization had verified her condition, they gave Brooks the emergency leave. However, Brooks was met with hurdles. When he needed to find the earliest flight from El Paso to Jackson, he could only find one with a layover in Dallas. Moreover, all the flights for that day were fully booked. Brooks had no choice but to wait until the following morning at 10 a.m. When he told Haley about it, she was devastated. Brooks tried everything he could to find an earlier flight, but with no luck. Little did they know that this was just the beginning of Brooks and Haley's roller coaster ride. While Brooks was at the airport, the mother and the daughter remained in the hospital. The next day, her water bag finally broke. Brooks arrived at the El Paso airport and was ready for his 10 a.m. flight to Dallas. Surprisingly, he didn't wait for a long time at security and boarded the flight without a hitch. Brooks started to have high hopes that he might make it to witness their daughter's birth, but it was still a long journey from his flight to the hospital where his wife and daughter were. Eventually, Brooks boarded his plane at 10 in the morning and arrived in Dallas around 2 in the afternoon. Instantly, he phoned Haley and asked how things were. Unfortunately, the doctor informed Brooks that her wife was already 5 centimeters dilated. Worse things happened as his 3:45 p.m. flight was rescheduled to 5:45 p.m. At the hospital, Haley was asked to choose only 2 family members who would accompany her inside the delivery room. She chose her 2 mothers, Deanne, her stepmother, and Teresa, Brooks' mother. The doctors instructed the family members to put off their phones and just be there solely to keep Haley comfortable. Teresa secretly dialed her son. When Brooks answered, he was in shock because he was able to witness his wife delivering their baby. At the airport, Brooks started crying. The people at the airport later learned that Brooks was currently witnessing his baby being delivered. When the airport crew started noticing the crying soldier, they went to check on him. They were informed that he has a flight to catch. His flight was about to go and Brooks needed to be on board. Then a man from the back told them to stop. The man explained that the soldier was having a moment and they wanted the flight to be delayed for Brooks to see his child going out. As Brooks was about to give up and board the plane, the doctor shouted, "The baby is here!" Then a baby noise from the other end of the call was heard. Soon they were approaching Jackson Airport. Brooks' heart was racing. Before he left the airport, he thanked the people around him. When he reached the hospital, he went straight to the delivery room. He opened the door and there he saw his precious baby sleeping in the arms of his lovely wife. Fortunately, Haley's blood pressure went down as she was delivering the baby. There were no complications and baby Millie is healthy. At home, Brooks was an excited father. They were just having their little moment as a happy family when one of their friends called them saying that they should take a look at what's happening on the internet. They were surprised to see that the video of the crying Brooks at the airport has gone viral. The couple was shocked after seeing the thousands of likes and comments on the video. When asked if he noticed someone taking a video, Brooks answered that he did not know that someone was filming him crying. Tracy Dover, one of the passengers of the plane, decided to record the video. Many people were congratulating and giving sweet messages. Haley also received a lot of messages from several soldiers' wives asking for tips on how they can talk to the Red Cross for their husband to be allowed to go home. Unfortunately, all this happiness was only for a small amount of time. Brooks needed to go back to the camp where he was fulfilling his duty. He calls every night and tries to create a bond with his family, especially with his newly born daughter. One memorable soldier who happened to share a similar story with Brooks is a veteran named Rick Raley. Raley is a brave and strong veteran. Raley was one of the best and toughest soldiers the Army had. Just like Brooks, he is also a father and a good and loving husband to his wife. Also, it was his childhood dream to become an Army to protect and serve his country. In 2004, when Raley joined the National Guard, he and his crew were doing a great job. They completed 200 combat missions and convoys with flying colors. Raley's wife was 5 months pregnant with her son when a devastating event happened in the year 2008 with a brave soldier. As they were on a mission, their truck accidentally stepped on an implosive device. Their truck flipped over, leaving the poor soldiers behind. Luckily, there were no serious physical injuries, but Raley suffered post-traumatic stress disorder. The accident was the primary reason why Raley could go back to his family. However, a more tragic thing happened. 6 months after he went home, Raley met a fatal truck accident. He was paralyzed from the waist down. Because of that, he was unable to move. It was physically hard for Raley, but he was relieved that he could spend more time with his family. Thankfully, Raley was a fighter. He started looking into sports that he can do with his condition. Surprisingly, there are a lot of sports to explore. He decided to practice wheelchair basketball and hand cycling. He started a campaign for the wounded soldiers. Now this campaign has become really big, and Raley travels from state to state to raise awareness and to help his fellow veterans. Stories like these are the kinds of stories that you want to tell your children because of the inspiration and the lessons you can learn. These stories make us grateful for our soldiers and their sacrifices. What do you think of today's story? Please tell us in the comment section. Don't forget to click the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with inspirational videos like this coming soon. See you in the next video!